11 seconds left. God says, your soulmate is praying for you right now. My beloved child, listen carefully, don't skip this message, because the next few moments may awaken something inside your heart that you have been trying to understand for a very long time. 11 seconds left, and God says your soulmate is praying for you right now. Maybe you don't know what they are saying. Maybe you don't know where they are. Maybe you haven't spoken to them in days, weeks, or even longer. But somewhere in the quietness of their own heart, they may be carrying your name, your memory, your presence, and a prayer they haven't found the courage to say directly to you. Stay until the end, because there is something important you need to understand about love, timing, and the person you are thinking about right now. Close your eyes for a moment and take one slow breath. Let the noise around you become quiet. Think about the person who came to your mind when you heard the words, your soulmate. Don't force the thought. Just notice who appeared. Maybe it was someone you love deeply. Maybe it was someone you haven't heard from in a long time. Maybe it was someone whose name still causes your heart to pause for a second. And maybe, somewhere inside you, there is still a question you have never been able to answer: do they still care about me? Tonight, instead of trying to predict what another person is doing, consider something more meaningful. Imagine that the person you love is also going through their own private emotional journey. They may be dealing with fears you know nothing about. They may be struggling with decisions they haven't shared. They may be carrying regret, confusion, loneliness, or uncertainty. And perhaps when nobody else is around, they turn toward prayer because they don't know what else to do. Maybe they don't know how to reach you. Maybe they don't know whether you would answer. Maybe they are afraid that too much time has passed. Maybe they are afraid you have moved on. Maybe they are afraid that the mistakes they made created a distance they cannot repair. And perhaps, instead of sending you a message, they close their eyes and pray. God, please protect them. Please give them peace. Please help me understand what I should do. Please forgive me for the things I did wrong. Please let them be okay. Those prayers may never reach your ears, but they can still reveal something important about the heart. Sometimes people don't know how to communicate their emotions directly, so they express them privately. Maybe your soulmate has been thinking about you more than they admit. They may see something that reminds them of you. A song. A place. A familiar phrase. A photograph. A simple moment that suddenly brings back an entire chapter of memories. And instead of ignoring the feeling, perhaps they sit quietly and allow themselves to remember. Maybe they remember your smile. Maybe they remember your voice. Maybe they remember the way you supported them when they were struggling. Maybe they remember a conversation that seemed small at the time but became important later. Maybe they remember the last time they saw you. And perhaps they wish they had handled something differently. Sometimes distance teaches people what closeness made easy to overlook. When someone is always there, we can become accustomed to their presence. But when that presence disappears, the silence can become loud. Suddenly, the person you assumed would always be there becomes the person you can't stop thinking about. Maybe your soulmate is experiencing that realization. But listen carefully, this doesn't mean you should sit by your phone waiting for them. It doesn't mean you should interpret every coincidence as proof of a guaranteed future. And it doesn't mean another person's private prayer automatically determines what will happen next. Your heart deserves something more grounded than that. If someone truly wants to be part of your life, eventually their feelings need to become actions. They need to communicate. They need to show up. They need to respect you. They need to be honest. Prayer can change a person's heart, but responsibility changes relationships. Maybe your soulmate is praying because they are finally realizing that. Perhaps they are asking God for the courage to apologize. Perhaps they are asking for wisdom before making their next decision. Perhaps they are asking for healing from something that has nothing to do with you. Perhaps they are simply praying that you are safe and happy, even if they don't know whether they will ever be part of your future. And there is something beautiful about that. Because genuine love doesn't always begin with possession. Sometimes it begins with wanting someone to be okay. Maybe your soulmate's prayer isn't, "Make them come back to me." Maybe it is, "Please protect them, even if I don't deserve to be near them." Think about how powerful that would be. A person who once wanted control now wants your peace. A person who once avoided vulnerability now asks for courage. A person who once ran from their emotions now sits quietly with them. That is growth. And if that growth becomes real, perhaps it can eventually create a healthier relationship. But don't rush the process. You don't have to rescue someone from their journey. You don't have to become their therapist. You don't have to carry their emotional burden. Everyone has to do their own inner work. You can love someone and still allow them to grow on their own. Maybe you have been asking God for an answer too. Maybe your prayer has sounded different. God, if this person is meant for me, bring clarity. Protect my heart. Help me stop chasing what isn't healthy. Give me strength to accept whatever happens. Those are powerful prayers. Because sometimes the answer isn't, "Yes, this person will return." Sometimes the answer is peace. Sometimes the answer is clarity. Sometimes the answer is a door closing. Sometimes the answer is a new door opening. And sometimes the answer is simply the strength to stop asking the same question every day. Maybe that's why this message found you. Not to guarantee a specific person, but to remind you that your life is bigger than uncertainty. You are allowed to love. You are allowed to hope. You are allowed to believe in something beautiful. But you are also allowed to protect yourself. Maybe your soulmate is praying for you right now because they finally understand that your heart is not something they can treat carelessly. Maybe they remember how patient you were. How many times you gave understanding. How often you listened. How you stayed when you could have walked away. And perhaps they now understand that kindness should never be mistaken for weakness. Maybe their prayer is simple. God, if I ever get another chance, help me do it differently. That sentence contains more maturity than 1,000 romantic promises. Because wanting another chance isn't enough. Being ready for another chance is what matters. And maybe they are asking for exactly that. The wisdom to communicate. The courage to tell the truth. The humility to apologize. The patience to rebuild trust. The discipline to stop repeating old mistakes. And perhaps you are being prepared too. Because if two people reconnect without changing, they usually recreate the same problems. But if two people grow, they can create something new. Maybe that's why your love story has felt delayed. Maybe the delay wasn't punishment. Maybe it was preparation. Maybe you needed time to learn yourself. Maybe they needed time to learn themselves. Maybe both of you needed to discover what love actually requires. Not obsession. Not fear. Not constant reassurance. But honesty. Respect. Consistency. Communication. Patience. Maybe your soulmate is beginning to understand that. Maybe that's why they are praying. They may not have the right words for you yet. They may not know how to approach you. But they know they need guidance. And perhaps that's the beginning of change. Imagine them sitting somewhere alone tonight. Maybe the room is quiet. Their phone is nearby. Your conversation may still be saved. Maybe they scroll through old messages. Maybe they stop at a photograph. Maybe they smile for a second. Then their expression becomes serious. Because they realize that what they feel isn't disappearing. They close their eyes. And they pray. God, please give me clarity. Please heal what I've broken. Please help them heal too. Please don't let my fear destroy something meaningful. Maybe they don't say your name loudly. Maybe they don't need to. God knows who they mean. And perhaps you have been praying for the same clarity. Maybe that's why this moment feels strangely personal. But remember, a spiritual message should never replace real communication. If someone loves you, let them eventually tell you. If someone wants to rebuild, let them demonstrate it. If someone has changed, let their actions reveal it. You don't have to guess forever. The right kind of love creates clarity. It doesn't keep you trapped in endless uncertainty. Maybe the person you love will eventually reach out. Maybe they will say something simple. I've been thinking about you. Maybe they will ask how you're doing. Maybe they will finally apologize. Maybe they'll tell you that they have been praying for guidance. And when that happens, listen. Don't rush. Don't immediately promise forever. Let the conversation develop naturally. Ask what they want. Ask what they have learned. Ask what would be different this time. And listen not only to their words but to their consistency afterward. Because anyone can make a beautiful promise during an emotional moment. Character is revealed by what happens after the emotion fades. Maybe this is the lesson your soulmate is learning. Maybe they once thought love was about strong feelings. Now they are discovering that love is also responsibility. Maybe they once thought missing you was enough. Now they understand they need to show up. Maybe they once believed that silence protected them. Now they realize silence can hurt people too. And perhaps their prayer is the beginning of that realization. So if you are watching this and thinking about someone, don't panic. Don't rush to contact them because you feel emotional. Don't search desperately for signs. Take the message as an invitation to reflect. Ask yourself what you truly want. Do you want a relationship built on trust? Do you want a person who communicates? Do you want someone who respects your boundaries? Do you want someone who chooses you consistently? If yes, don't settle for less simply because you miss someone. Missing someone can be real and still not mean the relationship is healthy. Love can be real and still require boundaries. Hope can be beautiful and still require wisdom. And perhaps the strongest thing you can do tonight is pray too. Not necessarily for a specific person to return. Pray for truth. Pray for peace. Pray for wisdom. Pray for healing. Pray for the courage to accept whatever is right for your life. And if that person is meant to return, let them return with a changed heart. Let them return ready to communicate. Let them return ready to respect you. Let them return ready to build. And if they don't return, let your prayer still be answered through peace. Because sometimes God protects us by giving us what we asked for. And sometimes God protects us by not giving us what we thought we wanted. You may not understand the difference immediately. But one day you may look back and say, now I understand. Maybe the person you thought you couldn't live without was actually teaching you how to live without losing yourself. Maybe the heartbreak taught you boundaries. Maybe the waiting taught you patience. Maybe the silence taught you self-respect. Maybe the uncertainty taught you to stop looking for answers outside yourself. And maybe now you're ready for a different kind of love. A love that feels calm. A love that doesn't make you constantly wonder. A love that doesn't disappear whenever things become difficult. A love where both people can say, I'm here. And perhaps your soulmate is learning to become capable of that too. Maybe their prayer tonight is not simply about getting you back. Maybe it is about becoming worthy of the relationship they once took for granted. That's a much deeper prayer. And if they genuinely follow through, something beautiful could eventually grow from it. But remember, you don't have to wait forever to see whether they change. Continue your life. Continue your dreams. Continue your healing. Continue your journey. If they catch up, let them meet you where you are. Don't go backward simply because someone finally starts moving forward. Maybe one day you'll receive a message from them. Maybe you'll see their name and feel that familiar heartbeat. But this time, something will be different. You won't be desperate. You'll be calm. You'll know what you want. You'll know what you deserve. You'll be able to listen without losing yourself. And if they tell you, I've been praying for you, perhaps you'll smile. Maybe you'll ask, what did you pray for? And perhaps their answer will surprise you. I prayed that you would be happy. Not, I prayed that you'd come back. Not, I prayed that you'd choose me. Just, I prayed that you would be happy. That would tell you something. Because love becomes beautiful when it stops being about possession and starts being about genuine care. And if both people eventually reach that level, perhaps there is something worth rebuilding. So don't let the countdown scare you. 11 seconds are not a magical deadline. Your life doesn't expire when a timer reaches 0. Your future is not controlled by a clock. The real urgency is different. Don't waste your life waiting for someone who refuses to communicate. Don't waste your heart trying to convince someone to value you. Don't spend years interpreting silence. If someone matters, let there eventually be a real conversation. That's the kind of urgency worth listening to. And maybe that's the message hidden inside these 11 seconds. Not that you have only 11 seconds to make something happen, but that life is moving. Time is precious. Your heart deserves honesty. Your future deserves courage. And love deserves action. So if your soulmate is praying for you right now, may their prayer lead them toward wisdom, not obsession. May it lead them toward responsibility, not control. May it lead them toward honesty, not games. And may you be given the strength to recognize the difference. Maybe their prayer will become a conversation. Maybe the conversation will become an apology. Maybe the apology will become changed behavior. Maybe the changed behavior will become trust. And maybe trust will eventually become something beautiful. But let every step be real. Don't skip the steps. Don't force the ending. Let the relationship earn its future. And while that happens, keep choosing yourself. Because you are not waiting to become worthy of love. You already are. You don't need someone else's prayer to prove that. You don't need someone's attention to validate that. You don't need a soulmate to complete that. You are already a whole person. And the right relationship will add to that wholeness rather than asking you to surrender it. So, my beloved child, take one final breath. If someone came to your mind when you heard this message, send them peace in your heart, but don't chase them. If they are meant to reach you, let them find the courage to do so. If they are meant to apologize, let them speak. If they are meant to return, let them return with action. And if they are not, trust that your life is still moving towards something meaningful. Tonight, perhaps someone is praying. Maybe they are praying for your safety. Maybe they are praying for your healing. Maybe they are praying for another chance. Maybe they are praying for the courage to finally tell you the truth. You don't know. And you don't need to know tonight. Let the mystery remain a mystery until reality reveals it. Because real love doesn't need endless signs. Eventually, it needs two people standing face to face, telling each other the truth. And maybe that moment is closer than you think. Maybe the person who once stayed silent will finally speak. Maybe the person who once ran will finally stop. Maybe the person who once feared love will finally understand that vulnerability isn't weakness. And maybe when they finally reach out, you'll realize that the real miracle wasn't that they came back. The real miracle was that both of you became different enough to make a new beginning possible. So remember this final truth. If someone is praying for you, let their prayer be between them and God. You don't have to chase the answer. Your responsibility is to live with faith, wisdom, dignity, and an open heart. And if love is meant to find you, it will not require you to destroy your peace to receive it. It will meet you in truth. It will meet you in respect. It will meet you in action. It will meet you when both hearts are ready. So let these final seconds pass without fear. Let the countdown end. Let the old anxiety end with it. Let the obsession end. Let the endless guessing end. And let a new chapter begin, one where you don't beg love to stay, because the love that belongs in your life understands how to stay. Maybe somewhere tonight, your soulmate is closing their eyes and whispering one final prayer. God, if I am given another chance, help me love them better than I did before. And perhaps your own prayer can be even simpler. God, whatever happens next, protect my heart and lead me toward what is truly good for me. Then let go. Trust. Breathe. Keep living. Because your story is not ending when the clock reaches 0. It is continuing. And maybe the most beautiful part of your love story is not the person praying for you tonight, but the moment when two people finally stop running from the truth and find the courage to meet each other with honest hearts. When that day comes, may you not have to wonder if they love you. May their actions speak so clearly that your heart finally feels at peace. And if they are truly meant to walk beside you, may they come not with empty promises, but with a changed heart, steady hands, and a love that knows how to stay. The countdown ends. The fear ends. But your story continues. And perhaps the next chapter is waiting for you, not in another sign, not in another prediction, but in the beautiful reality of two people finally choosing each other freely, honestly, and completely. May what is meant for you find you. May what is not meant for you release you. And may the love that remains be the kind of love you never have to beg for. My beloved child, listen carefully. Before this message ends, there is one final truth you need to carry with you. You may have come here wondering whether your soulmate is thinking about you, whether they are praying for you, or whether something is quietly changing behind the scenes. But perhaps the greatest message is not about what they are doing tonight. It is about what is happening inside your own heart. You have survived the waiting, the unanswered questions, the moments when you wondered whether you were forgotten. You have carried feelings that nobody else could fully understand, and somehow, you are still here. That alone means your story is not finished. Maybe somewhere tonight, the person you love is sitting quietly, thinking about you. Maybe they are remembering your face, your voice, your kindness, or a moment you shared that they never truly forgot. Maybe they are asking God for another chance. Maybe they are asking for forgiveness. Maybe they are simply praying that you are safe and happy. You may never know the exact words of their prayer, and you don't need to. What matters is that your own heart no longer has to live in constant uncertainty. If they truly love you, let their love become visible through their actions. Let them communicate. Let them make an effort. Let them take responsibility for what happened. Let them show you that the person returning is not the same person who once walked away. You don't need another promise that sounds beautiful for one night. You deserve consistency that remains beautiful months and years later. And if they are praying for you tonight, perhaps their prayer is not simply, God, bring them back. Perhaps it is, God, make me better before I approach them again. That is the prayer that could change everything. Because love doesn't become stronger simply because two people miss each other. Love becomes stronger when two people grow enough to stop repeating the same mistakes. Maybe that's what has been happening during this period of silence. You have been growing. They may have been growing too. You have been learning your value. They may have been learning the value of your presence. You have been learning boundaries. They may have been learning accountability. You have been learning that love should bring peace. They may finally be learning that fear is not an excuse to keep running away. So don't chase the answer tonight. Don't stare at your phone waiting for a miracle. Don't let every notification control your emotions. Put the phone down if you need to. Close your eyes. Breathe. And remember that your future is much bigger than one person's decision. If they reach out tomorrow, you can respond with wisdom. If they don't, you can still wake up and live your life. If they return, you can listen without immediately surrendering your boundaries. If they stay away, you can continue becoming the person you were always meant to become. Because your worth was never waiting inside another person's hands. Your worth was already there. Maybe you thought the miracle would be your soulmate returning. But perhaps the real miracle is that you finally stopped abandoning yourself while waiting for them. Perhaps the miracle is that you learned how to love without losing yourself. Perhaps the miracle is that you can now say, I want love, but I also want peace. And that changes everything. If someone comes back, let them meet you at your new level. Let them see that you are no longer willing to accept confusion as commitment. Let them understand that your heart is precious. Let them know that forgiveness is possible, but trust must be rebuilt. Let them know that love is not just what someone feels when they miss you. Love is what someone does when they have the opportunity to choose you. Maybe someday they will stand before you and finally say the words they were too afraid to say before. I missed you. I was wrong. I should have handled things differently. I never stopped caring. I've been praying for you. And maybe your heart will tremble when you hear it. But don't let the emotion make the decision for you. Listen. Look into their eyes. Watch their actions afterward. Give the relationship room to prove whether the words are real. Because you don't need a dramatic reunion. You need a healthy one. You don't need someone who comes back because they are lonely. You need someone who comes back because they are ready. You don't need someone who fears losing access to you. You need someone who understands the responsibility of having your heart. And if that person becomes capable of giving you that kind of love, perhaps your story will enter a beautiful new chapter. But if they don't, remember this: God can still lead you somewhere beautiful. Sometimes the door you desperately wanted to open remains closed because there is another door you haven't noticed yet. Sometimes the person you wanted teaches you what you need to know before the person you truly need arrives. Sometimes the delay protects you. Sometimes the silence protects you. Sometimes the ending protects you. And sometimes, after enough growth, two people can meet again and discover that they are finally ready. You don't have to know which one your story will become tonight. You only have to trust that your life is still moving. So if your soulmate is praying for you right now, let their prayer be theirs. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to investigate it. You don't have to prove it. Live your life. Keep your heart open. Keep your standards strong. Keep your faith grounded in wisdom. And let reality reveal what words cannot. Because when genuine love arrives, you won't have to spend every night wondering whether it exists. You will feel the difference. You will see the effort. You will experience the consistency. You will recognize the peace. And perhaps one day you'll look back at this exact season and realize something extraordinary: the waiting wasn't wasted. It prepared you. The silence wasn't empty. It taught you. The heartbreak wasn't meaningless. It strengthened you. The unanswered questions weren't the end. They were part of the journey that led you toward clarity. So take one final breath. Let your shoulders relax. Release the person you cannot control. Release the future you cannot predict. Release the fear that you are running out of time. You are not. Love is not a race. Your life is not a countdown. Your worth does not have an expiration date. And your story does not end because someone hasn't chosen you yet. Maybe your soulmate will choose you. Maybe they already are preparing to. Maybe they are praying for courage. Maybe they are praying for healing. Maybe they are praying for your happiness. Whatever their prayer is, let God handle what you cannot control. Your responsibility is simple: protect your heart, tell the truth, choose wisely, love deeply, and never lose yourself trying to make someone else stay. Because the right love will never demand that sacrifice. The right person will not ask you to become smaller so they can feel bigger. They will not make you question whether you are enough. They will not make you compete for basic attention. They will not disappear whenever things become difficult. They will stand beside you. They will communicate. They will grow. They will choose you, not just when everything is easy, but when life becomes real. And if that person is your soulmate, may they find the courage to become that person. May their prayers lead them toward maturity. May their regrets lead them toward change. May their memories lead them toward gratitude. And if they return, may they return with a heart that finally understands the value of what it once held. But if they don't, may you still walk forward without bitterness. Because you deserve to arrive at your future with your heart intact. So, my beloved child, the countdown is over. The 11 seconds have passed. But perhaps the most important thing didn't happen outside you. It happened inside you. You remembered your worth. You remembered your strength. You remembered that love is supposed to be a choice, not a prison. And now, instead of asking, when will they come, ask, what kind of love am I willing to receive? That question can change your entire life. And perhaps the answer is this: I am ready for a love that is honest. I am ready for a love that is consistent. I am ready for a love that respects me. I am ready for a love that brings peace. I am ready for a love that chooses me freely. Then let the rest unfold. No chasing. No begging. No fear. No endless guessing. Just faith, wisdom, patience, and an open heart. And if someday your soulmate stands before you and says, I prayed for you, may you be able to smile and say, and I prayed for peace. Because perhaps that was the answer all along. Not simply that someone would return, but that you would become strong enough to recognize healthy love when it finally arrived. So walk forward now. The night may still be quiet. Your phone may still be silent. Nothing may look different yet. But don't mistake silence for the absence of possibility. Life can change in ways you cannot see. People can grow in places you cannot witness. Doors can open when you least expect them. And your story can take a turn you never imagined. But whatever happens next, remember this: you are not waiting for love to make you worthy. You are already worthy of love. And the person who truly belongs beside you will not require you to beg for their presence. They will come with intention. They will stay with consistency. They will love with honesty. They will choose with courage. And when that happens, you won't need a countdown. You won't need a sign. You won't need to ask whether this is real. Your heart will know because your life will finally feel peaceful. So let tonight be the night you stop fearing what you cannot control. Let tonight be the night you release the old story. Let tonight be the night you make room for something healthier, deeper, and more beautiful. Maybe your soulmate is praying for you. Maybe you are praying for them. But above both prayers, may there be one greater prayer: God, lead us toward what is truly meant for us, and give us the wisdom to recognize it when it arrives. And if your paths are meant to cross again, may that meeting happen at the right time, with healed hearts, honest intentions, and the courage to love differently. And if your path leads somewhere else, may you never look back and believe that you lost your only chance at love. Because your life is not defined by one person. Your future is not limited to one possibility. Your heart is capable of loving again. Your soul is capable of healing. Your story is capable of becoming beautiful again. So breathe. Trust. Release. And keep walking. Because perhaps the greatest surprise isn't that your soulmate is praying for you right now. Perhaps the greatest surprise is that you are becoming the person who no longer needs to chase love, because you finally understand that the love meant for you will meet you halfway. And when it does, may it be so peaceful that you finally understand why every unanswered question had to remain unanswered for a little while longer. May the right love find you. May the wrong love release you. May your heart remain soft without becoming weak. May your boundaries remain strong without becoming walls. And may your next chapter be filled with the kind of love that doesn't make you wonder whether you are wanted. Because one day, the person standing beside you won't leave you searching for signs. Their presence will be the answer. Their consistency will be the confirmation. Their actions will be the message. And their love will feel like peace. Until that day, keep living. Keep growing. Keep believing. Keep choosing yourself. Because your story is not over. The countdown has ended, but your next chapter has only just begun.